Is something I needed to say anyway. And like she said, I am Sarah Jane Bedwell. I'm a registered dietitian and licensed nutritionist in the state of Tennessee, and I'm known as Nashville's nutrition expert. So I'm glad to be here with you all today. And you know, when I think of the holidays, sometimes I think about all those cookies in the office and those, turkey dinners with the family, and then, there's the eggnog at the neighborhood get-together and the casseroles at the church shindig, and then we end up getting more than we really want for Christmas, if you know what I'm saying. So we are going to talk about some strategies to prevent that from happening. So I'm actually going to move over here. These are kind of my little props for today. And what we're going to do, we're going to talk about the strategies. I'm going to give you the hints for the nutrition part of the healthy holidays. And then we're actually going to do a couple cooking demos. And then you all get to taste everything. And while you do taste that, I will take any questions and answers that you may have. So, another thing I think of when I think of Christmas is this quote right here. At Christmas play and make good cheer, for Christmas comes just once a year. And I think we as Americans, that's a 16th century poet, by the way, and I think we as Americans sometimes think, well, it's the only time of year that I get to have Grandma's cookies. It's the only time of year that I get to have Halloween candy. It's the only time, so I'm just going to make the best of it. Well, and that's okay for one day, but one extreme that sometimes we go to is that we think we're going to save up all of our calories. Has anybody ever done this? I know I'm guilty of it. We think, well, I've got a Christmas party tonight, so I'm not going to eat much all throughout the day, and then I'm going to pig out at the party. And that would logically make sense, but there's a few problems with this. Number one, it will destroy your metabolism. And if I can have a volunteer, I want to explain why this would destroy your metabolism. Does anybody want to be a volunteer for me? Okay, great. Thank you, Malia. You trust me enough. You know I'm not going to hurt you too bad. So if you will just hold that candle for me. If I can, these things never work when you're trying to make them work. There we go. So this is a fire. This represents your metabolism. What's going to happen if we don't put fuel on that fire after a while? Imagine this being in a fireplace rather than a candle or on a campfire. What's going to happen if we don't put wood on it after a while? It goes out. We don't want that to happen. What we do want to happen is for it to continuously burn slowly all day long. And you're proud you need to. Oh. And it actually has a cute little lid to go with it too. So we want to keep our fire burning. Our fire is our metabolism. We want to keep it burning. And the way to do that is to put fuel on our metabolism throughout the day. So that means eating healthy meals and healthy snacks all throughout the day, even on a day when there is going to be a big dinner or party that night. You just want to make good choices. And in fact, what I recommend is to never go more than about 4 hours without a candy bar.
The first one, the apple and the string cheese.
First one, very good. Apple and the string cheese. So you get a prize out of my magic Christmas stocking here. Just reach in and grab you something. Wonderful. So you have a little planner there to put on your refrigerator. You can plan your meals, write your grocery list.
This is definitely
an important thing. So why did you pick the apple and the string cheese?
Well, because I knew that would be the protein and the carbohydrate. I also think before I'm going to a party that something that's relatively compact, that's not going to make me feel full.
Yeah,
or
not too heavy.
Right, and not do anything funky with my breath.
Yes, I totally got you there. And it's easy, you're not having to cook, so very good choice. Let me show you a trick. Lime is a great thing to add to recipes to give flavor without adding any fat or sodium or anything like that. So if you will rub a roll limes either back and forth in your hand or on a cutting board before you cut them, that's going to help to release some of the juices and make them easier to squeeze. So roll it, and then I'm going to cut it in half. And usually I get about a tablespoon and a half or so, from a lime. You've got one of these? Okay, perfect. And then this is important because I use this all the time. Like I said, limes are great for healthy cooking. So y'all buy you one before you leave tonight. And cutting boards and good knives are very important for healthy cooking. Because if you're going to be chopping and cutting vegetables and fruits, believe me, you want to have some good knives. Because it's dangerous to have a dull knife, actually. Because you'll have to press down too hard. So this is shooting everywhere. But this is my good lime juice here. And I like fresh lime juice. You can use the little bottle, pre-bottled lime juice. But this is cheaper, and I just think it just always tastes better and fresher. My husband's like, oh, just use the canned lime juice. I'm like, no, gotta use the real. And normally I would just use one lime for this, but I am actually doubling this recipe so we all can have enough. So that's why I'm using 2 here. And I have a great recipe that I'll maybe have to come back and do that sometime, of salmon that is flavored with lime juice. And a lot of times we think lemon when we think of fish, but y'all, it brings out the best. I've gotten people who do not like salmon to like salmon with that recipe. It is fantastic. Brings out a lot of good fresh flavors. Yeah, but this makes it easier. Goodness, if you're trying to do this with your bare hands.
A lot of juice out of it.
Yeah, oh, it definitely helps you get the juice out. So you just put that lime juice in. Nice fresh flavors there. And then I like to just kind of constantly stir this recipe as I go. And you do need a lot of lime juice because the lime juice is going to kind of give flavor but also kind of help to bind everything together. Now we're going to add our green onions. And these are another type of onion that you can definitely use in raw or uncooked recipes. So green onion here, and that actually adds a different flavor than our red onion. It is more of a cooling, refreshing flavor. That one of my friends had gotten out of a magazine, and I was like, oh, we can definitely make that healthier. So this is kind of a made-over recipe here. We're going to start out with an 8-ounce package of the Neufchâtel cheese, softened, and that's also known as reduced-fat cream cheese. Neufchâtel cheese, though, is an actual separate type of cheese than cream cheese. It's a soft cheese. And one thing that is a really good tip to know is that cheeses that are naturally softer, like goat's cheese and feta cheese, are going to be naturally lower in fat than your harder cheeses like cheddar or Parmesan. It doesn't mean you can't ever have those, but you definitely want to use those more in moderation and have the softer cheeses a little more often. That way you don't have to necessarily have one of them that's, reduced fat that may have a lot of preservatives in it. You can just go with the naturally softer cheese and automatically it's going to be lower in the saturated fat. So add that to your mixing bowl.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
The cream cheese that we normally get, and you said a new kind that